1 week after disaster struck a small Quebec town, there are 5 more victims to add to the official death toll. Searchers in Lac Megantic have found more bodies, bringing to 33 the number of people killed when a runaway train carrying crude oil barreled into the town's historic heart. 17 others are still missing and presumed dead. Today, bells rang out to honor the victims as locals and visitors alike paid their respects. Our Mike Armstrong is in Lac Megantic again for us tonight. Mike?
Well, Sophie, it was a week ago the disaster came to this town by rail. Today, support came to town by road. As the bells tolled, most in front of St. Agnes Church stopped, but not all. This family, on their knees, laid a picture of a boy in with the flowers and sobbed. The bells rang 50 times, once for each victim. Inside the church, a memorial, pictures of victims and notes left for loved ones lost. The parish priest says people need to do something to remember as they mourn.
They give flowers, they candle, and just stay calm in the church.
For the locals here, the people who lived through the disaster, there is a struggle to move on. A week has passed, but the whole thing still feels like a terrible dream. François Mercier lost a close friend he'd been with an hour before the explosion.
It's unreal for me. I have to come here to connect to the reality.
The city is busier than it has been. There's traffic for the first time. The bulk of it not local, but visitors here to show solidarity and drop off a donation.
Came down to take a look. I mean, it's a tragedy.
The horror of what happened has been felt far from Lac Megantic. It's affected many. There have been vigils across Quebec, even one in Winnipeg last night. That support, Lise Tétrault says, is appreciated. It gives her something to focus on rather than the disaster. Right now, all she can think about are fireballs and flames.
When
I go to bed, I have that vision in my head, she says, all the time. Forgetting is going to be hard. Now, forgetting is something some are nervous about. There is support now for Lac Megantic, but for how long?
Maybe in 2 weeks, it's gonna nobody here.
So we'll be here for weeks.
Police are making it clear they're here for a long time. They've gone over about 50% of the site, but the most complex parts remain. That said, they did take a break today. They too paused as the bells rang.
The minute of silence was observed throughout everyone on the site itself. All work stopped, and it was a very emotional moment from them.
Now, there was a funeral at another church across town today, a funeral not from a victim from this disaster. The funeral was actually postponed because of the disaster. There's some catching up to be done here.